9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, Andy, so tell me a bit about Paul Sutcliffe.
Yeah, very warm welcome, Tim. Nice to see you again. It's always good to see you. Yeah, if you're listening, Paul, to this, really sorry you couldn't make it. We understand life is very hectic and the Lord often takes us away. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you and do a future show. So Paul Sutcliffe, he gave his life to Christ at the age of 16. He married and has 3 children. In their 30s, he later divorced. He spent a year feeling he failed God and wondering what kind of man he could be if he could not be the man he believed God wanted him to be. Thank God, Paul's children pushed him to go back to church, and he's attended Christian fellowship since and Bible studies. Having a love of research and writing, he's already earned Paul a spot on the bookshelves with Barnes and Noble across the country in the field of special education. Paul discovered that the Muslim Brotherhood was operating out of the school where he earned his master's in the Nazareth College of Rochester and started to do research on this topic. Paul has since published a few more books on the topic of civilization jihad. This has earned him a national platform, speaking about national security on radio shows, podcasts, and a few TV spots around the country. So that's a brief bio. His book is The Cancer Civilization of Jihad. It's it's basically what I've already said, that one. And he's on Academia, EDU, and Paul Sutcliffe, blogspot.com and paulsutcliffe.com. So I guess, Tim, he's one of these, well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just thinking he may be like we are over here in the West, a little bit pissed off. It doesn't mean he's not a Christian about it, but he might be pissed off with too many jihads or that kind of way of thinking. I'm not sure, like I said.
Right. Well, he says here, this blurb about him, the Department of Justice reported that the Turtle Island Liberation Front, a far-left pro-Palestine, anti-government and anti-capitalist group, was preparing to conduct a series of bombings against multiple targets in California beginning on New Year's Eve. Wow.
Sounds pretty serious, that one.
Yeah, and it's far left, which to my way of thinking means radical left communism.
Yeah, I call it wokey lefty.
Yeah.
Same idea though. It's against normal people, I think, the way they think, the far left.
Pro-Palestine, anti-government. Well, anti-government in what context? Because if it's a far left group, it's a communist group. So that is actually advocating totalitarian government. So they're presumably against the type of government that is in vogue currently in the West.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why should it be a West and East? Why can't we all have, good and bad governments, East or West, and just get on with each other, And then obviously, if you're a murderer or anybody that goes against a Christian faith, And of course, let's not just put it all about Christians. There's some Muslim faiths and some Hindu faiths, and all around the world, different faiths, and they believe in very similar Christian values. But it's just these extremists from Islam seems to be the problem.
Yeah, well, most of these extremist groups are connected to the intelligence services that created them in the first place, like MI6 and the CIA. And so their radical agenda is one that is promoted by the deep state, because the deep state is subversive of all of our traditional values and wants to destroy our traditional civilization and replace it with the one world order, sorry to say, satanic government, the Antichrist society that they wish to create.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, I'm just.
the Turtle Island Liberation Front is a very unusual name. They refer the native community here in North America refer to North America as Turtle Island, the big turtle. I don't know if there's any connection. I just thought of that. North America is called the big turtle according to the indigenous peoples of North America.
I'm sure Paul would comment on that if he was here, which it's a shame, but we'll definitely get him on. And
Yeah.
It was quite funny, Paul, if you're listening. You did say something on the lines of, I dare you to have me on your show, would you be interested and believe what I'm saying? And absolutely. God sent you, but now you're busy, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Tim from Canada, here, Author Timothy Spearman, he's absolutely, we'll have a ball together if you do come on the next show.
Okay, says the group also planned to target ICE agents and vehicles. And Attorney General Pamela Bondi said Attorney General Pamela Bondi, and she added this was an incredible effort by our U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI to ensure Americans can live in peace. We will continue to pursue these terror groups and bring them to justice. Oh, God.
It sounds silly, but why can't we all just live in peace? It really is mental,
Well, it's true that the average Muslim, the average Christian, and so on, do want nothing more than to raise their families in peace and not have to deal with all this. And so when you look at the radical, whether it be far right or far left organizations and who's behind them, they're always creeps like George Soros putting the money in. Why? Because they're Satanists and they want to destroy civilization. Sorry, I just called a spade a spade. He's a Satanist. And I really, really got to say that we got to do something about that meddling man who's got his hand in all of these extremist organizations that he funds internationally. He's a menace. He's got to be dealt with. He's got to be arrested, arraigned, and dealt with. It's too much. Why should one man be able to get away with so much mayhem? It's unnecessary. Just bolt him to the wall and get rid of him.
That was quite good.
Anyway.
So, I'm going back to my stupid questions again.
Yeah.
We've got Islamophobia, we've got the word jihad, we've got Satanist, we've got Freemasons. I mean, are they all the same? Are they all different? If they're all different, it means we've got a big problem because, yeah. And you probably won't remember the answer to this one as well with all that. But if you can remember, Islamophobia, that's a new name that's come up recently in our UK news. I mean, obviously it means a phobia of Islam, but it really, we really do have problems of Islam. It's nothing to do with the Muslims, but it's the Islam people, the extremists, I say it again. Yeah, so why make up stupid names?
Well, they're trying to prevent Western civilization from defending itself by accusing anyone who attempts to defend Western values of being guilty of some form of racism or some type of phobia towards, say, something like Islam, or another one, anti-Semitism. They're often bandying this term about, accusing people of being anti-Arab whenever they say anything against Jews. Well, what is this word, anti-Semitism? It's a misnomer. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't apply to Jewish people. It applies to anyone of Arab origin. It's a misnomer. If you want to say anti-Jewish, then say it. Anti-Jewish, not anti-Semite. And then people who are defending Palestine are not anti-Semitic. They're pro-Semitic. They're pro-Arab people. They're trying to protect the Arab people of Palestine. So to call them anti-Semitic it's just a misnomer. It makes no sense. This is the cognitive dissonance factor of misapplying terminology where it doesn't fit. It's vacuous argument. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely, and I can back that up with the Islamophobia terminology, and he's exactly one of them. It says it's a prejudice, discrimination, or hostility directed at Muslim people. Well, that's a lie. It's not exactly at Muslim people because most Muslims are good, and we only know that it's the bad people that follow Islam is what we've got a phobia of. So it's a bit similar to your example there. It's mad. It's
Yeah.
The false use of that languages and definitions is the problem. But that's what our governments would do, wouldn't they? Because they don't want us to.
It's actually a logical
harmony.
fallacy, Andy. It's actually a logical fallacy in which they're calling us names for having particular views, and that's called an ad hominem attack. Don't attack my character just because I have an opinion. This is an ad hominem attack, and it's a logical fallacy, and it needs to be shut down. What they want to do is shut us down so that we can have no voice. Therefore cannot defend ourselves. Why? Because they plan to genocide white Christians. There, I said it. You don't like it? Too fucking bad. Come and get me. Come on. I'll take you on. Come on. Let's get personal. You want to get personal? You come and get me.
And just one more for the road, just buy one and get two free. Some people don't like gays, nothing wrong with that. But let's call it a name, eh? Homophobia. It's just about the same thing.
You're homophobic. Yeah. Well, look as long as we have a world, there's going to be some people that don't like other people. So what? That's life. And if I don't like something, I'm going to say it. You don't like me for saying it? Well, go ahead. Come and get me. We'll have it out. We'll duke it out. Come on. I'm already ready for that kind of challenge.
Yeah, I just wonder if anyone's listening in the future. Would they like to comment on this on social media? Because our YouTube ratings have gone up really good recently. So I'm just encouraging people to comment, share, like, even bad comments are good because it pushes the videos out there.
Yeah. Yeah, even bad publicity is good publicity, right?
It is with social media at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need some? Oh yeah, and of course you got these people in these Muslim countries and so on that are getting all their communications stopped. So recently,
Oh,
in the last week, if you
yeah.
protest on the streets of Iran,
Yeah.
they'll shut down your computers, your electricity, your internet, just because you're on the streets protesting to something that's real. You've got a grape, you're allowed to protest normally. It just don't make any sense.
Yeah.
We should send in Maggie Tuttle to these countries and she'll sort it all out if she was alive. And in fact, you're getting the Iranian military now shooting the protesters, and they're only standing up for what's right for them.
Mhm.
The world's
Yeah.
gone mad, Tim.
What's that name?
The world has gone mad. I mean, we blame people who have mental health problems, but the governments of the world and the people that control us are more madder than we are.
Yeah. This is interesting. Town Hall reported that the Brown University shooting that resulted in 2 being killed had witnesses report that the shooter yelled Allah Akbar before the shooting. However, many media outlets are not prepared to report this. Providence, Rhode Island police will not even verify or deny this was said. Everyone's so afraid of, because of the political correctness factor, of just speaking out the truth, what actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, if I was crazy enough to do something like that and I shouted out, I don't know, Trump is a moron or Starmer's a bitch or I'm mental in my head. I'd expect the press to report what I say. Yeah, it's all mad. But I know where they're coming from. They don't do that over here either anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
we know what Allah Akbar means. I mean, if you're going to say it, get it reported then. That I think they're trying to stop people from being anti-Muslim, which is that Islamophobia thing. But we're not anti-Muslim at all. In fact, most Muslims would be shouting out the same thing, that the Christians do, that it's not a Muslim problem.
yeah, it's a terrorist problem related to terrorist organizations. And what we often find is that these false flag terrorist attacks are actually orchestrated by our own intelligence services here in the West. And they pin the blame on some kind of Islamic terrorist organization, which they themselves created. Examples: Zbigniew Brzezinski, the former national security advisor in the United States, had ties to the CIA, and through the CIA created the Taliban, the Mujahideen, and Al-Qaeda with $3.5 billion in CIA funding. There you go. What did that create? Frankenstein's monster. Who created Frankenstein's monster? Frankenstein. And who's Frankenstein? The U.S. intelligence service known as the CIA. It's on public record. That's a fact. You don't like it? I don't care. That is a fact. And I don't like Zbigniew Brzezinski at all. Take a look at the guy. He looks like an alien. I mean, he's another character like George Soros, who meddles in too much and creates too much mayhem. All right.
I mean, I was just commenting on Allah Akbar, the Arabic saying. It doesn't even sound that bad. I know people use it in bad situations when they're bombing people, but all it really means is God is great, or God is the greatest.
But what it shows is what it shows is this extremist fanatic idiot that does the bombing thinks he's doing it for the greater glory of God. Yeah. He is not. He's doing it for the greater glory of whatever asshole commissioned him to undertake the terrorism.
But we'd say the same thing, wouldn't we? You know, at Christmas, we'd say Jesus is great, God is great. You know, in a different sort of way, we'd do it in a nice way. So in a way, the words are not bad. It's just how you use them.
Yeah, there's no way God, Allah, whatever you want to call him, would endorse a terrorist attack upon innocent civilians anywhere in the world. There's no way that is due to the greatness of God. That's just madness.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. And there's another thing, holy war, jihad, holy war. It's a contradiction in terms. It's an oxymoron. There's nothing holy about war. Do you think God would endorse warfare? Come on. But they, in their deluded madness, believe that God advocates a certain war, a war undertaken in his definition of justice. No.
Now, that's a bit more like the last, like the Allah Akbar, that's sort of reasonable in the wording. But the Holy War is obviously really, really bad because it is a war declared or waged in support of a religious cause. So that one I don't agree with so much.
Yeah.
I wish Paul was there. Bless him.
Yeah.
It seems an expert on this subject. Of course you are too, Tim. It's always good to talk to you. Any other news that you want to talk about in this general direction?
Yeah. On Sunday, December 15th, Montreal for Palestine, that's the name of the organization, parked themselves outside a Christmas market located in Montreal, where citizens were gathered with their children to shop, eat, and enjoy the day. A video posted on Instagram shows a member of the group using a megaphone to deliver the following message. Dear brothers and sisters, peace and blessings be upon you all. First of all, I'm sorry to interrupt those who are celebrating next to us. At the same time, we would like to wish you guys a happy holidays, and we would like to wish you guys a good time that you spend with your families, with your kids, and all your loved ones. The man with the megaphone continues getting to his actual message, which is one of hate and intimidation. I want to remind you in this at the same time as we are celebrating the holidays that the land of Jesus, where Jesus was born, has been under attack by the Zionist entity. If that wasn't enough, he told the crowd, and absolutely that Jesus is Palestinian, and if Jesus is alive as of today, if Jesus is living in Palestine right now, he will be living under an occupation, under an Israeli siege in West Bank in Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. In one fell swoop, he told Jews and Christians alike that he didn't recognize Jesus as a Jew or a Christian. Then he went on to suggest that the Zionist entity is persecuting Gazan Christians, a clear attempt to turn Christians attending the market against Israel. What do you think of that?
Wow. A big wow. Well, very, very strange. Very sad. And do you know all this religious hate is costing our countries a lot of money? I mean, the last news item I just saw was £10 million in the UK is being given to protect Muslim communities, the mosques and all that. I mean, why don't they leave them alone and let them do what they got to do?
Wait a minute.
I don't think
why not 10 million? Why not 10 million in security funding to protect innocent Christian virgin girls by being raped by Muslim grooming gangs? Absolutely appalling that this situation has been allowed to go on. I just don't understand it.
We definitely have that problem. I mean, that is, Muslims may be perfect until that point, but every Muslim grooming gang, every family member associated with these perpetrators, I'm pretty certain. So I lost the train of thought anyway. But what annoys me on that, what I think what I was trying to say is they deserve what they get because that shouldn't happen. Any rape in any way, shape, or form in any country against children or even men or women shouldn't happen. But what sickens me, not only has this been going on a bit like the Hillsborough inquiry, the football stadium, everyone died. That's one example. There's been sexual child abuse in care homes, another example. Grooming gangs, another example. 30, 40 years before anyone gets justice. It's bloody ridiculous. And the current mayor of London, sad-faced Khan, he thinks it's normal to do all that. But he's still a Labour mayor. That don't make no sense. No sense
Yeah.
at all.
I just hope that Aunt Middleton gets the job and takes over as soon as possible.
And because we've got an independent inquiry, I'm laughing because it's not that independent because they won't let the people have their independence, within that inquiry. That they want to control it all. I mean, the last headline 2 days ago, the grooming gangs inquiry, in London, there's not many girls there on the board, but let's face it, every single area of the UK that had a groom gang scandal was related to it happened to girls, not so much the boys. But the grooming gangs inquiry has absent voices of the girls because they don't trust the inquiry. Now, what they should be doing is what we did in Scotland to the child abuse inquiry. We put pressure on the government by launching our own independent child abuse inquiry. It was my idea, by the way, with the Fresh Start Foundation. The only problem is with that, everyone started fighting with each other. I left. It never really got far, but the idea was there. The government was, they got kicked up the backside over here, and John Swinney, our Scotland leader now, he really did help people after that. But that's what the grooming gang inquiry should have, a bit more, oomph, or whatever you call it. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm passionate about that sort of stuff, especially when, yeah, there's no point. I can't say that one anyway, especially when people falsely accuse others of stuff when there's real things going on like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking, I think we've got about 5 minutes left. I've been talking to people recently, they've been accused of sexual abuse, they've been accused of uh, abuse towards their own children, they went into foster care. Yeah, a lot of it is just false allegations, parental alienation, that's it, where the mum or the dad accuses the other parent of the abuse, when really all they need to do is get on with each other, even if they don't like each other, for the sake of the child. Because, I mean, I can say in our case, our children, they're now 27 and 6, are damaged to hell because they wasn't given the proper therapy and nurturing when they was in care. Anyway, that's just another example of our stupid government.
Yeah. Well, we can pretty much say that the whole thing of care, as it's called, is debatable. Is it
Yes,
really a
definitely no
system?
care at all.
Yeah.
Well, just remind people then, before we close,
Yeah.
Paul Sutcliffe, so it's PaulSutliff.com, or you can Google his books,
Uh-huh.
and which is
Yeah.
Deep Dive Devolutionals, Civilization Jihad Awareness, and he does make some good Christian books. One of them's Proverbs, a book of wisdom for boys, and what social studies teachers need to know about Islam and so on. So yeah, he's good. Hope to see him very soon, Timmy.
Yeah.
Any last final comments?
Yeah. It's been a good series of shows that we've had on here, and I hope people are tuning in. What are we going to talk about next week?
Things always change, and I always say, wait till we come on air, or we'll talk about it the day before.
All right.
Make a plan.
Perhaps our guest Paul will turn up for next week.
Yeah, it'd be nice if people can comment though on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Let us know what you think, because most people are sharing, they're reading it, they're listening, but they're not actually commenting, which would make a difference. Do you think we've got a problem in our country? Let us know. What problem do you think we have? Is it Islamophobia? Are we paranoid about them? Is it Christians that are the problem? The Muslims? What do you think? Let us know. Freedom Talk Radio 2013 at gmail.com. Remember, Tim's website is
I think
ShakespeareCodex.com.
one of the things that has to be addressed is take the Muslim out of grooming gangs and just prosecute the grooming gangs for raping and committing statutory rape and kidnapping and abuse, sexual abuse of young virgin British girls. Just prosecute the criminals. Forget the Muslim label. Forget it. Throw it out. If that's what's stopping and inhibiting the investigations, then just go for the criminality factor. They're criminals. That's it.